This episode contains mature language and situations. Listener discretion is advised. You wake to the sound of a train. The clack, clack, clack of wheels. In the distance, is that the sound of birds in a forest? No. It's angels in a choir. Or is it demons from hell? It doesn't matter. You have no memory of how you got here. All you know is that you're lost, and that now you belong to the Grey Rooms.
Hello, roomies. Episode 16. Wow. 4 left, and this season is done. Who would have known, right? Well, they always say that time flies when you're having fun. And you know, we here at the Rooms are having a blast as we deliver each episode to you. So make sure to join us this time as author Haley Piper takes us on a perilous journey that will make you white-knuckle your flight right to the end. So without further ado, please enjoy Episode 16.
Okay. Right. Ooh. Todd Matthews, this is maybe the most important moment of your life. You just gotta do the one thing Miss Winters told you never ever to do. I just gotta crack the black book, contact our tentacled buddy, and invite him into our little hidey-hole here. No problem. He's just thrown together a pot chili. Hey. Alice. Beautiful. I know I never talk to you anymore. It's been a long time. Well, to be honest, it's been a long time since I thought I deserved it. I'm real scared, sweetheart. We're way out on the pointy end here. I don't know what's going to happen. You remember what I used to say to you, right? As I was headed out the door every day. What good can I do this day? Well, I'm not sure this is good, but it's what I gotta do. You know, to keep Bob and Sam and all them folks out there just trying to live their lives safe. Give us a kiss, sweetheart. One more time. For luck.
Ladies and gentle beings, welcome to Lucifer's Fuck Up.
Excellent work, Moth. Be sure to thank the Queen for us. The court was the perfect mustering ground.
Will do.
Did we all make it through? Sound off.
Let me at him.
Da, we are yours to command, master.
Ready when you are, boss. Of course. Whatever you need, Admiral.
Samuel?
Boss?
No matter. I'm sure he's back on the 6th layer. Pull the cage through.
Look at all the pretty lights. All the colors. All the blood.
Kryze, Moth, Caliban. I want the 3 of you to head up to the middle. Reinforce Belial's foot soldiers from behind. We're getting hammered up there, and we need to buy time for the others to make it through.
Kryze, let's go cause some mayhem.
Well said.
Yes!
John, Grigori, there's a group of Grove separatists making trouble down along that side of the field. See if you can deal with them. Their arrows will outrange even the soldiers from the mount. They could prove deadly.
At once, master.
You sure you're okay? Us leaving you alone with him?
Don't worry, John. I can handle the Warden. Go. Have some fun.
That's what I do best, boss.
Warden.
Hey there, Admiral. Been too long. Open up the cage, huh? Pretty please. Let me get a taste of that mortal meat again.
I'm going to open the cage, Warden. But you're not going to lay a finger on me.
Oh? I'm not, am I?
No, you're not. Because you don't want me.
Right.
You want Samantha Winters. You want Todd Mathis.
Todd.
You want Bob.
Yes, let me. Please, let me loose, please. Let me out of here.
Hunt them, Warden. Find them. And you can do whatever you want. For as long as you want.
Great, here we go. Get ready now!
What? Where am I? Samantha! Samantha! Todd! Hello? Who are you? Whoa, come now. This is a little embarrassing. You don't recognize me. I would have thought the face gave it away. You can't be. Of course, I'm you. Your demon self. Though I suppose it makes sense you don't recognize me. Did you notice how hard it was to channel your power to escape the Grey Rooms? Tisk. The Warden tortured me. I was weak. Oh, we're weak, all right. But that was true long before the Warden ever laid a hand on you. I escaped the maze. I am not weak. We don't have a lot of time here, whoa. I'm just here to say goodbye. What are you talking about? You've changed. Too much. That's the nature of her power, she said. Well, demons can't change. We can't. It's a fundamental truth about those chained to the rock at the bottom of the world. So, if you're changing, I'm not a demon. No, you're not. What am I? I don't know. Something else. Something you're going to have to figure out without me. Our power is allowing us to reconnect, just for a moment. Together, we'll hold off Belial's forces for as long as we can. But afterwards, you're not Wolverine. Not anymore. You're just Bob. What if I don't want to change? Sorry, mortal, but I don't think that's a choice you get to make.
Holy shit. I guess
Oh, so sorry, little one. Not gonna let you do your nasty little trick again. No.
You fucker.
Such language. Ooh. Look like it hurt. Need to be quick now, my dear. I thought this was going to be a grand hunt, but you all but handed yourselves to me. I mean, I can see where dear old Bob is, clear as day. He won't be able to stay like that for long. No. I'll deal with him when he goes back to that meat he loves so much. I've got you, of course. So that just leaves one more person. Where is Todd?
And that's it. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, whoever. Oh, bloody hell. Excuse me, sir. I hope you don't mind if I look away. Right, this is irregular. Yeah, I know. But the grey rooms, sir, management, they've found us. They're attacking in force. Bobs thinks they've got more reinforcements on the way. We need help, and we need it fast. Am I inviting you in? Yeah. Well, that was what Miss Whitten said to say, yes. Bloody hell, all right. Civics of the Farm, I formally invite you to the realm of the defiant. Arise and be welcome here. That good enough? Great. I'll run and let them know. We'll see you soon. Bloody hell, Alice. That was... I really thought maybe this time... Warden.
Todd.
How'd you find me? Miss Winners? She...
Oh, she's alive. She'll wish she wasn't. I want to play with her some more later. You know what? Turns out I also can make people say and do things they don't want to. I just use pain. It works every time.
Bob, he'll come.
Oh, no. Sorry. He's far too busy fighting at the gate. for all the good it'll do him.
Oh,
Yeah. You were my favorite once, you little worm. You remember all the fun times we had? Oh, so much fun.
you fucking psychopath. It was never fun. You broke me, wound me up like a damn toy, and used me. That's all any of you fucking demons know how to do, is use people.
Oh, so angry. I love it.
I know I ain't coming back this time. You know what? It don't matter. You're gonna fuck off back to the 6th layer and play your little games. But the people here ain't gonna stop fighting. They want to see the realms be different, better. And that's something worth fucking bleeding for. So go ahead, you piece of shit. Go ahead and... Alice.
Pathetic. Oh, what's this? This book. So, delicious. Just have to hang on to this. Todd. What a shame. And wrong. So wrong. Worm. I'm not going back to the 6th layer. They don't appreciate me like they used to. No. I think I'll go collect good old Sam and Bob, and I'll hole up somewhere to have, a vacation. Yeah. Yeah, the Warden. The Warden deserves to have a little bit of fun. Now what?
Jitters were the worst. My mother always likened them to tiny sprites climbing the scaffolding around my spine, making the feeling worse. Made it happen right, as she'd say. The idea of little creatures destroying my spine like an abandoned skyscraper stuck with me as I aged, left home, worked, and now shipped overseas to fight the Axis powers. I didn't blame my mother for them today, though. I blamed Harvey Smithson. Harvey was an aero mechanic who spent most of his days mumbling under his breath while he trudged from Spitfire to Beaufighter. bending more like Atlas with every step. Each time the plane took off from the peeling tarmac into the grey skies, he slid his right hand down his face and crossed his collar. Most of the planes had left the airfield before I approached. The sunset sky turned them into black specks over the distant hills. The dusk wind swept my scarf tight around my neck. Don't worry, Harv, they're airborne.
Hey, that they are. They might even stay that way.
I didn't want to accuse the mechanic of poor workmanship, but I was due to fly tomorrow morning. The main bulk of the British forces brought frontline heat, but my mission was more covert. I was to travel across enemy lines and bomb a munitions plant. The end result being the destruction of 2 million rounds of ammunition before they ever slid into Nazi weapons. I didn't need the jitters, or a jittery mechanic. You're rattled. Something I should know before you throw me into the sky?
No, nothing.
Harvey was in his 50s, near twice my age, and today he looked twice as old and twice as tired. Supposedly he'd kept planes flying back in the last big war, and here he was, at it again. He liked to tell tall tales of the planes held together with tape and nails, flying long after they'd run out of fuel. Nothing like that happened today. I was new to Seaward, but I'd never known Harvey to be so quiet in my 4 weeks on the base.
Don't know nothing. Don't know nothing but planes, Lieutenant Sheffield.
Come on, I've got a pile of Hitler's trash to burn tomorrow. Pipe up. Harvey gave me cold eyes. Frightened eyes.
I try to keep them out of the planes. They're not things I see, but I feel them. Little hands making devil's work of our machines.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have pried. See you in the morning.
You ever been out in the black? Away from the other guys and felt like you should be alone? But you aren't alone?
Lately, I've tried to be alone as often as I can. I'm grabbing something to eat and then going to bed. Have a good night. The mess hall was near empty that evening. Most of the other men had gone to their missions or their bunks. I ate alone at that cold steel table, spooning potato stew with little appetite, and trying not to think of the jitters working at my bones or tinkering with my airplane. Men who worked with their hands shouldn't believe in fairies. It was one thing for fellow pilots to tell their aerial ghost stories. I knew the skies weren't the natural human domain, and I understood that people didn't belong up there, flying through that alien world. To make matters worse, all the RAF pilots were under tremendous pressure. Last week, Clarence Upton came in with a smoking engine and no external damage to his Beaufighter. He swore up and down he'd heard laughing ringing inside the cockpit until he touched down. That the damage was the work of those darn little gremlins in the clouds. I thought it must have been engine fumes affecting Clarence's judgment. I'd never seen anything I couldn't attribute to malfunction, weather, or the enemy. I just let it be. Let them have their ghosts. Landlocked Harvey shouldn't have a thing to say about gremlins. He could listen politely to the pilot's tales, but letting it get under his skin? Maybe he'd heard too much. Or perhaps he too got the jitters sometimes. I finished eating and stared over the tarmac at the hangar. I couldn't trust Harvey. That meant my plane couldn't be trusted. If it couldn't handle a kooky middle-aged man with a wrench, It would do little good against German anti-aircraft munitions. But what could I do? Report Harvey? That seemed overzealous. Another talk might help. The mechanics could hash out what was real and what wasn't, and whether my plane was up to snuff. Most of us might have better peace of mind if they threw the ghosts and fairy tales out of their heads. But it was late. My worries weren't enough reason to wake the maintenance staff. A metallic clang echoed in the night, causing me to turn. The noise came from the direction of my plane inside the hangar. I walked across the tarmac towards the open hangar. My P-47 Thunderbolt sat idly in its assigned spot. The airfield lights gleamed off the propeller, but darkness coated the frame beyond the nose. The body of the aircraft rang tinny again. Who's there?
Harv, is that you?
I stepped towards the side of the plane. I could make out the open fuel cap in the dim light, where the black rubber hose snaked out. Gasoline pooled on the tarmac. Sloppy. That was the problem, not little men. Harvey was so busy watching for imagined sprites that he couldn't even make sure the fuel line was shut. I then heard what sounded like walnuts being cracked open as I bent over to grab the hose. Harvey wouldn't be sneaking around in the dark, would he?
Who's there?
Whispered snickering answered from the far side of the Thunderbolt. Getting down on my hands and knees, I looked underneath the plane, asphalt scraping my palms, but didn't see anyone's legs on the other side. I stood and pulled the hose loose and checked the fuel level. Someone was going to have to refuel me in the morning. My thumb rubbed against odd grooves in the rubber as I turned to leave. Teeth marks, like a baby had been chewing on it. Baby with small, pointy teeth. I found Harvey in the rec hall, reading a yellowed paperback with a cover and first few pages torn off. Wordless, I laid the black hose on the table and stood back. Harvey picked it up, turned it over in his hands, and gave a long, hard look.
Not my Christian name. I shouldn't like them to hear it and turn it on me.
I pulled Harvey away from the rec hall and led him to the tarmac, to my Thunderbolt. The only noise I heard now was the wind whistling. Of course the strange sounds would stop once I fetched someone. It had probably happened to Harvey before, or at least he knew the feeling. I was alone out here, but I wasn't. Someone fussed with the fuel, but I heard other things. Harvey raised his hands to the propeller, but didn't touch, as if skin contact would pass the demons from the Thunderbolt to him.
I'd rather check in the morning if it's all the same.
It's not all the same. Crack of dawn I fly, Smithson. I heard a clanging, cracking. If there's an enemy out here, I need to rile up the base. I don't need your superstitions putting my life in danger. I clenched my jaw, leaving just a square chin sticking over the collar. If I looked strong, I would feel strong. I had to believe that.
And if it's not the enemy, we could crack this Thunderbolt open like an egg, and the shell would give us tooth and claw marks.
But if it's what you said, these little things, the jitters...
You call them what you like. They don't care. We started exploring the sky, unfit for mankind as the sea, thinking it was some universal place. But there are birds, insects, and like we have mysteries on the earth, there might be gremlins above. The sky is their kingdom, their natural domain, and we intruded. Well, maybe at first they were just curious. Big metal birds start flying around up there. Think what we would wonder in the days of night should the USS Iowa have come sailing up to medieval Europe, or a tank on the open field. The little buggers started poking around, and poking's a good way to break things. I believe they started to like breaking things.
There isn't much to do in the sky but breaking apart airplanes, watching pilots panic in the heavens. Oh, it drives them giddy as schoolgirls. And like a ship brings rats from one port to another, gremlins latch onto our planes and stick with them to the airfield where they can fiddle with other planes. Oh, they've been here today. Jitters, gremlins, devils.
Harvey began to tremble. He touched the plane to steady himself and then wrenched his hand back as soon as he found his balance. He wiped it on his overalls. Instinctually, I took a step back without meaning to. How could I fly this plane at dawn? Getting another bomber won't help, will it? What can we do?
Nothing in the power of men. I've spent the day trying to fix damage as it comes. Press this to the plane's nose and speak the Lord's Prayer.
I hadn't been to church since I was stateside, unless a bombed-out carapace in a field counted. I pressed the cross into the plane's propeller, expecting snickering and metal crashing inside. But there was only the wind. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Hadn't the meeting of earth and heaven brought these demons in the first place? And that will stop them?
Our hope is that God above will look this way and shine a light to scare the devils back. But it's like telling the birds where to go, and they'll do what they do.
You can have this back. I don't have much use for a cross.
Keep the cross for now, and hopefully you'll give it back when you fly back tomorrow night.
I lay in my cot but struggled to sleep. My mind was too aware of the danger. I couldn't help but listen for laughter on the wind around the barracks. It was the same as when I was a child. My mother's tales haunting my dreams until I'd wake up cold past midnight. Sometimes I'd hear my father come in from the pub. He'd step softly into my room, tuck me in, and I'd fall asleep again. I woke before dawn. The jitters never came for me. Harvey's cross lay beneath my pillow, as if the tooth fairy might snatch it in the night, and leave blessings in the morning. The sun came up too soon. I didn't see any sign of Harvey in the hangar. Instead, I met Earl Wilkers, another mechanic, perform a quick checkup on the plane's wiring, fuel cap, and propeller. A few non-crucial screws needed tightening, and the Thunderbolt was thirsty. Nothing worse. No teeth or claw marks. Earl gave me the thumbs up and a clean bill of health for the plane. I tucked the cross into my breast pocket. Kept it close, but hidden away. I didn't want Earl to look at me the way I looked at Harvey last night. I boarded without a word. Thunderbird took to the air within the hour. Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. I continued the Lord's Prayer as the plane-crested cloud cover. The thunderbolts soared across enemy lines. Wispy clouds slid around me. Fellow pilots ran interference elsewhere, catching dogfights with Nazi planes. I had my part to play, and that was paramount. No matter ghosts or fairies or devils or jitters. How many of my friends' dials were going haywire? Their propellers coming loose, their guns misfiring. And how many cursed the gremlins to hell and back? Hell is what we bring to the battle. The demons lie below. It was the oddest prayer I'd ever said, but it left me flushed, feeling the opposite of jitters. That was it. I had to get into the right state of mind. This was war. The demons were for the enemy. Let the Germans get the jitters when they hear this thunderbolt coming through the clouds. Let them burn under my wrath. The demons lie below. Hell is what we bring. The demons lie below.
The demons lie.
I tapped the speaker, hoping to hear a voice come through the transmission, but no one called me. I tapped on the transceiver, listening closely, but only heard the usual chatter. No strange voice. Behind me, something scratched the seat. I would have ignored it during any other flight, thinking it was nothing but engine noise, but the scratching persisted. Hell is what we bring. My mind conjured the burning munitions plant. Dead Nazis. Fire everywhere. The demons getting theirs. Demons lie below. No such thing as jitters. Someone sniggered behind me. A whispery, cold sound that left my gloved hands quivering. No, I'd been doing so well. The chill started at the back of my neck and trickled between my shoulder blades. An icy centipede with needle legs, steed of the jitters. They were on me now. My shoulders shook without meaning. The thought of my mother, the idea of little men on my back, probably seemed quaint to her. But had she heard the whispers in the dark? I could steer one-handed if need be. My free hand reached into the coat pocket for Harvey's bronze cross. It was gone. I know I hadn't dropped it on the tarmac, or Earl would have picked it up and handed it back. No one would hassle me over a cross the way they might a fairy tale. I needed it. Where was it? The Thunderbolt's cockpit had always been appreciably spacious, but right now it felt too large. The kind of space where a small piece of bronze could easily be lost. How many little men could fit in a cockpit? They were cramped together around me. Their twined bodies bulk my press against my back. My skull. Until I couldn't reach the controls. Pinned to the glass, the pressure steering the plane into a nosedive. They would tear down my spine, a building ready to be turned into rubble. Still steering one-handed, I leaned to one side. I pulled behind the seat for my cross. My fingertips brushed against something not nailed down. I brought it to my face. A small bolt. Our Father, who art in heaven, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. I patted behind the seat again, desperate now. Another bolt, some wires, but no cross. I couldn't drive away the visions of the plane's underside rattling to pieces, riddled with teeth marks. Where was that cross? My fingers touched an old shape, cold steel. I tried tugging it to my face, but it wouldn't budge. The cross might have been caught under something. I put my hands together so I could pull the glove off the other. I freed my fingernails to work across from where it was stuck. Metal, flesh. Cold, brittle flesh grazed my fingertips. Then a hand grabbed my index finger. Its palm a tenth the size of mine, but strong. I yanked my arm, but another small hand grabbed my middle finger. Another my ring finger, until they covered my whole hands. I couldn't wrench free. Ghostly palms clambered across my wrist, onto my forearm, the nails needling my skin. Give us our daily bread. Forgive us. Lead us not. Get out of my jacket. Into temptation, but deliver us from evil. A snickering crowd overwhelmed the cockpit. I let go of steering the plane just for a moment to swing around with my free hand. The Thunderbolt had to land. Mission was aborted, overtaken by the little men with hands and tiny, sharp teeth. Another dozen hands grasped and yanked my free arm behind me. I craned my neck, desperate to see what had me pinned, but their grip pressed my back to the pilot's seat. Giddy laughter drowned out the wind in the engine, and my prayer fell useless, falling off of a dry tongue. Little hands tried to pull my arms from their sockets. fingers prodded me between the vertebrae. The jitters infested my jacket. The plane wobbled, needing direction. I pressed my face to steer with my teeth, but my jaws weren't strong enough.
You'll kill us all!
I barely heard the engine under the snickering in my ears. The sound of scratching broke through, different from before. It wasn't nails on metal, but nails on glass. I looked out my windows. There was no one inside or outside the plane. The bronze cross now dangled from a bolt above me. The glass had been carved so thick with white, scratchy letters that I could barely see the sky. A chorus of demons read them as I did. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. Welcome to our kingdom, John.
Small Handiwork, written by Haley Piper, with performances by Headley Knights as John and Joe Stofko as Harvey. And Another Closes was written by Michael Zenke, featuring performances by Alistair Mackey as Todd, LaQuin Groves as Beckett, Mark Whitten as Moth, Tanja Milojevic as Kryze, Alistair Mackey as Rasputin, Justin McElroy as John, Brandon Greene as Caliban, Jason Wilson as the Warden, Sarah Ruth Thomas as Samantha, and Graham Rowat as Bob. Musical composition was by J.M. Scherf. Episode artwork, web development, and creative direction by Cassie Pertite. Social media and Patreon management by Brooks Bigley. Videography is by Hale Scherf. Audio engineering and sound design is by me, Jason Wilson. Now boarding rows F through U. Last time I heard about that many gremlins on a plane was 1943, and Bugs Bunny almost bit the dust. I think I'm gonna take a shower and pour myself a drink after this one. On a serious note, let me just say thank you to all the servicemen and women in every country. I wish you all safety as you go about your lives. Not everyone can do what you do, and we here at the Grey Rooms, we salute you. And we would like to take the time again to thank our patrons and to any of those who have taken the time to leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Those reviews keep us at the top of the charts and makes it easier for more twisted souls to find the show. Patrons like Ellen Houghton, Eric Pritchard, Eric Phones, Jackalbot Snows, Lynn Browning, Matthew Smithdeal, Patrick Stewart, Ronan Kamori, Sean Gary, Kale Shade, Doozer Pendon, Zed M, Jeffrey Dulcite, and David Schreiber. You can find the Grey Rooms on Spotify, iTunes, or your favorite podcatcher. We're also now available on iHeartRadio's Spreaker app. Download the iHeart Spreaker app today or open the browser and search The Grey Rooms. And we here at The Grey Rooms love our fans and want to give back to you in the best way that we know how. And we have a lot of fun things to show you, and, well, we hope that you like them. You can find out more by joining us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, and Facebook. And we took your advice and extended an olive branch to all of the tortured souls who have passed through the rooms. Our emotional support group is always looking to help you with all of your needs. And don't forget about our merch store. It's full of epic designs and logos for you to sport, showing the world that you are a survivor of these very rooms. All of this can be found in the show notes or on our website at thegrayrooms.com. And have you checked out our Discord server? Because if you listen to the podcast, you're only getting half the experience. Join for free to hang out with Grey Room's cast and crew, watch movies, listen to music, or learn to write your very own horror story. Our community grows daily, and you can meet and interact with like-minded fans from all over the world. Catch up on behind-the-scenes gossip in the Board of Directors bathroom. Well, 16 is in the hat. We have 4 left to go till we conclude Season 4, and what a season it has been. Stay tuned, because it's going to be a fun one. And with that being said, there's a lot of work in front of us. So, thanks, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a Grey Rooms production. Copyright 2022-2023. All rights reserved unless otherwise stated.